You know that famous saying, there's something about the outside of a horse that's good for an inside of a man.
Oh, yes, and woman, might I add.
Absolutely.
You know, I feel like horses just bring us so much joy and so much happiness, and they're almost like therapy, I think, for most of us. And the ironic part is, I'm actually a therapist.
And that's exactly right. And with so many people getting into horses, we want to keep the education and we want to keep the learning going. And that's why we have Better Horses. Hello, everyone. My name's Ed Adams.
And I'm Susie Arbo.
And welcome to Better Horses.
From Medicine Lodge, Kansas, a world-renowned colt herder and all-around horseman, Kerry Kuhn is offering a unique approach in training horses and building rider skills.
We are delighted to bring back Laurel Walker Denton from Skull Valley, Arizona. She is an AQHA and NRCHA judge. She's trained and shown horses to great successes in working cow horses, reining, and ranch riding.
And thrilled to be welcoming back professional horse trainer Mark Jenkins with Mark Jenkins Horsemanship from Oklahoma. Mark has an amazing ability to read horses and relay that information in an easy-to-understand way for the rider.
Welcome back Dan James with Double Dan Horsemanship from Kentucky. Dan shares several tips and tricks you can do while riding and working with your horse out in the pasture in several locations.
So with these great trainers, I know this is going to be a show you're really going to enjoy. So stay with us, and it's the only horse show on your local broadcast television station.
And also airing on RFD TV and the Cowboy Channel.
1956, the Pinto Horse Association of America was formed to welcome all types of equines and maintain their show records and pedigrees. PTHA currently has over 88,000 members with 157,000 registered pintos. There are currently 3 separate registries: the Color Registry, the Solid Registry, and the Long Ear Registry. We welcome all levels of competition within a family-friendly environment. Become a member, register, and add value to your horse. For more information, check out the website pintoworld.com.
Welcome to Better Horses, everybody. My name's Kerry Kuhn. I'm out here today on Badger, and we've got a young 3-year-old here that came from the Purina Animal Nutrition Center. We call him Capone. We're just getting this horse started, but I wanted to show you guys an exercise that we do with our colts as we're getting them prepared for a rider, and it's something that we love to do off of another horse, off of a saddle horse. It's going to give me the opportunity to let this colt that I'm working see me at a level up off the ground, close to what it's going to be like when I'm sitting on the colt later on. It's going to give me the opportunity to take my foot in my stirrup. As I get in close to this horse, I'm going to take my foot and I'm going to rub from his shoulders all the way back to his hip, getting him used to the contact down there. So when we put a saddle on him, we crawl on him and we're riding him, he's going to be used to the feel of my leg moving around right there, me being up off the ground. As I get in a little bit closer to that horse's hindquarters, I'm probably safer up here than if I was standing on the ground if this horse decided he wanted to kick at me. But the goal right here is to use the forward motion in the saddle horse that I'm sitting on to just teach Capone here to bring his nose with me and to disengage his hip. Now, I need to have the saddle horse that I'm on facing the opposite direction of my young horse. I say young horse, it could be any horse could benefit from this. And basically all I'm going to try to do is take old Badger here and ride him right behind Capone's hip. Now as I go, I'm going to be short enough on my lead rope that it's going to tip his nose to me, and it's going to cause his hindquarters to step away. Now if I step in here close and that horse doesn't move over, then I might take my foot and I might add a little bit of rhythm down here against his rib cage, against his hip back there, just like that, to get him to step over. But if you can get these rascals like that right there, where you just add a little bit of pressure and they'll bring their nose to you, then they're thinking about giving to you. And as you just get this forward motion in your saddle horse flowing here, and your saddle horse has got to kind of be stepping this direction. He can't just go straight away. So he's kind of Badger's stepping to his right a little bit as he's going forward. And here I'll let him step completely away. Maybe I'll just switch sides with my lead rope behind me, and then I can go do this side again. But I love this drill for how it allows me to build some feel in these young horses at angles that are going to be closer to what they're going to experience when I'm sitting on them. Plus, it lets me get some of my broke horses involved in what I'm doing. And really, as I build this right here and I teach this horse how to give me his nose and step his hindquarters over, I'm preparing this horse to be able to follow his nose once I get on him. So that's a really, really good exercise that probably any horse can benefit from, especially your young horses. Good job, bud. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Better Horses. Appreciate everything. If you guys would like more information about what we do, our clinics that we host across the country, we've got horses for sale now. We've got an Empower team that we have launched. You guys can go to our website, kerrykuhn.com, to find out more information about everything that we're doing. And I would say this, if you own a horse, do what you can to expand your own knowledge so that when you get to a spot where you're not sure what to do, you've got a few more ideas or tools that you can pull from. Because when we can be in those situations that our horse gets bothered, but yet we can show some confidence and maintain a level of peace or calm about what we're doing, we can help them horses find the spot we're trying to get them to. So Better Horses is a great avenue for you guys to build that knowledge. Thank you guys for tuning in.
You're watching Better Horses, raising your horse experience.
Hey y'all, Heritage Tractor is bringing you unbeatable savings during our truckload sale. Right now, you can take home a John Deere mower for as low as $72 a month. Plus, enjoy fantastic financing rates during this limited time event. But hurry, these deals won't last long. Visit your local Heritage Tractor today or check us out online at heritagetractor.com.
Legendary products, extraordinary service. That's our heritage.
See dealer for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2025.
Hi, I'm Laurel Denton, and we're here today at the Bayou Bar Ranch, and I want to talk to you a little bit about ground tying. What to do with your reins, what's traditional, what's accepted in today's world of the ranch world. So one of the things that I try to do, first and foremost, when I walk up to a ground tie, is try to stop my horse squarely, make sure that all four legs are underneath of him as much as I can before I step off. So I may go up to the ground tie, walk up, whoa, then I step off if I have Romal reins, step off. So I want to talk to you about what we did 40 years ago and what I was taught that was the traditional way to ground tie with Romal reins. You unhooked the off rein, which is the right rein. You took your reins off. You laid them on the ground, and then you ground tied. You walked around your horse, The reason being is then when you got ready to lead off, you just picked up your reins and walked off. But nowadays, because of the price of reins and because of sometimes horses are put in positions that are spooky positions, nobody does this anymore. But every time I'm at a show and every time I ground tie, I think about this because this is what I was taught. And this is, so just so you know, the traditional correct way to ground tie. But no one does that anymore. So with Romal reins, what we're going to do is nowadays is you can just hook them over your horn like that and walk around your horse. One thing that I try to do when I'm teaching the ground tie, if you notice him, he's watching me. He never takes his eyes off of me. I try to teach that so that they always know where I am and make sure that you make a fuss over them when you come back. So the next thing we're going to talk about is how to ground tie with split reins. Okay, so here we are. We've just walked up to the ground tie. We're going to ground tie with split reins. We've stepped off. You can do one of two things. Split reins are very simple. It's an easy answer. You take one rein, you drop it. You can leave your rein here over that like that. Walk around your horse. The other thing that is done is take a half hitch of this rein around your horn, which that is the safe thing to do because then your rein's not going to fall on the ground. Or you can also come up here with your split reins, take them both off, put them on the ground, say whoa, and walk around your horse. So split reins are the easy way to ground tie and not have to worry about it. And then when you lead off, you just pick up your reins and lead off. So there you have it. You have what's acceptable to ground tie with Romal and split reins. I'm Laurel Denton. Go out there and have a good time and show your horse.
Start walking.
Hey Wranglers, we got a lot more better horses coming your way right after this word.
One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
They've given everything for us. Now it's their turn to rediscover their strength. At War Horses for Veterans, we offer more than healing. We offer a chance for veterans and first responders to rebuild their lives through the power of horse therapy, helping participants overcome trauma, reduce anxiety, and find peace in ways traditional therapies often cannot. They stood for us. Now let's stand with them. Visit warhorsesforveterans.org.
So basically I spent a week going in and out of I think every tractor dealership in Southwest Missouri. Went to Heritage Tractor, basically told them what we wanted, what we were going to use it for. It was a great experience all around, quick in and out. Tractor was here that day. We're just a small business. That tractor was a big financial decision for us. We got the price we wanted, we got a better tractor than we expected. We'd be lost without it at this point. So if you're shopping, definitely go John Deere and the guys at Heritage.
The Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University announces a new service for horses. Hi, I'm Dr. Dylan Luter, a specialist in equine performance medicine. Our new service focuses on lameness diagnosis, advanced imaging, physical therapy, and regenerative medicine for horses with injuries preventing them from performing at their best. We can treat a variety of conditions and design a customized rehabilitation plan to meet the needs of each client and their horse. The Veterinary Health Center, to discover, to teach, to heal.
Welcome to Mark Jenkins Horsemanship, right here on Better Horses. Guys, so we're working with this 16-year-old thoroughbred. He's off the track. He has spent some time in the, I think the hunter jumper pen, but there's two main issues that the owners are having with him, and one is he does not stand tight. So we're going to work with him on that, and then on top of that, he doesn't like to get in a trailer. So we're going to also work with him on that and let him know it's not a scary place. We're going to do the best we can to help him out as much as we possibly can. There's a couple of steps that I want to run through with him before I actually tie him up. And the reason for that is, if you guys watch me at all, I'm big on preparing horses for what's coming next. And what I see a lot when it comes to trailer loading, when it comes to tying horses up or turning left and right or stopping. Doesn't matter. The horse has not been actually taught to give to pressure. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that, big deep breath. I'm going to show you a couple of things that I do before I actually go up there and try to tie him up, which we'll get to here in a minute. The number one thing is I want to make sure that he's going to be soft laterally. If he's not soft laterally, he can't give to pressure laterally, then I've got to work on that for a while. And that'll be in another video as well. But for this one right here, I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can't get him to flex left and right. So when I ask for this lateral flex, it's not necessarily can he just move his head all the way around. What it is can he actually try? Right there, he tried. I'll bump him again. There we go. There he tried. And can he stay here? This is going to help me determine whether or not he's ready to be tied up. Because if he can give to that pressure, I'm going to ask him again, and they're little bumps. Don't just sit there and pull him. If he can give to that pressure, and when the pressure goes away, I'm going to ask him again, he stays for just a few seconds. That tells me that he's probably going to be okay with steady pressure. And of course, steady pressure is when it's consistent and if he's tied up. So right here, even though right there, good job. My fingers are still on it, on the lead rope, but he's giving, he's staying. Right there, he bumped against it, no big deal. But that's just one step, and I want to make sure to be able to do it on both sides as well. So of course I want to make sure that he can do it on both sides and have that softness on both sides. And like I said before, I want him to be able to come over here, try, there we go, almost, not step on top of me, but try. And I need him to be able to stay over here. If he needs to itch his leg, that's fine. There we go. He gave me a big try right there. And he didn't slingshot back or up. So that tells me he might be ready for me to go tie him up. Okay, so we're going to tie this guy up right now. And what I use is a blocker. It's a tie ring, okay? And it works real well. And I'm going to explain exactly how that works. So I'm going to make sure that he obviously can stand right next to whatever I'm going to tie him to. Quietly. If he's in a panic right here or something, that's not the right time to try to tie him up. So all this does is about 16 to 18 inches from his chin to where you're going to tie him. You're just going to slide that through, run that blocker up or that peg, and again 16, 18 inches from under his chin to where he's tied. And what this does is it allows him, and of course I didn't want to tie him up unless I felt like he was in a good state of mind. But if he did decide, which you may see here in a minute, but if he did decide to pull, he's going to have a little leeway. There is tension right there, but not enough to make him hard tied. So as we increase the tension and the resistance on here, which we can do by just simply wrapping this over and over, that'll just add more and more resistance. But we want to make sure to do it when he's ready for it. The other big thing that you want to make sure that you do not have is any knots in your lead rope. Okay, you don't want your horse to sit back all the way to the point where it's at the very end and then he's stuck. But that's a big thing. Make sure there's no knots, and also make sure that if you step back and away from him, you don't leave that lead rope on the ground to where he might be able to paw at it and get a foot hooked over it or anything else that could grab hold of that and stop the whole process of what we're trying to do. So when I first tie up a horse that's hard to tie or does not like to be tied, there's a couple of things I want to do. One is I want to make sure that he's standing quiet and everything's good. But the very next step that I want to do is I want to make sure to put a little bit of pressure on him. So I'm just going to ask him to yield over that way and yield back over this way. And we've got a bunch of other stuff that we need to do too. But this is the way I'd end this session. So I'm just going to, and I'm wondering if he hits the end of that lead rope, and that's where we end up with a problem. But he's doing so great, and it's just fingertips. I'm not doing much more than that. This guy's doing an amazing job of staying here quiet, tied up. So I think I'm going to let him stand here probably another 10, maybe 15 minutes tied up and see how he does. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching Mark Jenkins Horsemanship right here on Better Horses.
Hey cowboys and cowgirls, don't go anywhere. We have more Better Horses coming your way.
At Kansas State University Veterinary Health Center, we provide both specialty and primary health care services for your livestock. Hi, I am Sean Hoosier, an on-farm food animal veterinarian at K-State. Whether your farm is large or small, we have the resources and personnel to respond and care for individual animals, herd health, or emergencies. Our team of experts can tailor herd health plans for your farm and find solutions to any existing challenges. The Veterinary Health Center, to discover, to teach, to heal.
G'day, Dan James here from Double Dan Horsemanship, and I'm excited to be with you guys here today on Better Horses TV. Today, I'm out in the pasture with a 4-year-old Lusitana sport horse, Applejack, and I'm excited to share with you a few tips, hints, and things that you can work on with your horse, whether out in the pasture or along for a trail ride. Okay guys, so one of the things that you can utilize as you're riding along, you can see that we've got this road, a little bit of a track here in front of us. And what I like to be able to do as I'm walking along is that I'll think about just practicing on some leg yield as I'm going. And I'll just think about leg yielding from one track to the other. It kind of gives me a little bit of accuracy that I have to align for. So as I'm doing this, if I want to leg yield here to the left, I've got a little bit of a feel there in my right rein, my right leg on, and then I'm keeping his head and neck straight, using my reins there as I'm riding along here. So just thinking about that basic leg yield from one track to the other. All right, so as I'm riding along thinking about this basic leg yield, again, just kind of recapping, I've opened up my left hand here a little bit, helping my horse come here to the left, and then I'm going to go back to the right. And again, I'm just really focused on keeping his body straight as I move him from left to right, right to left, just leg yielding along this track here. And again, it just provides a great opportunity for your accuracy, thinking, can I keep my horse straight, and at the same time, can I move him from one track to the other? Okay guys, if you're going along and you found that pretty good, or you know your horse is beyond that, doing the same thing at the trot. So I'm just going to move this horse from left to right and in some basic lateral movements here from one track to the other, back and forth. And again, I find this a great way to use some of that unspent energy as you're going down the trail. Okay, the next one, guys, I'm going to show you. I'm going to look at taking my horse's shoulders and placing them on the track in front of me, and my horse's hind end on the other track. And while I'm doing this, I'm looking at another form of a lateral movement or a side pass, and it just kind of gives me that opportunity to kind of work and school on my horse as I'm going out here again along this trail. And what I'll do is I'll do it for a few steps, and then I might just go ahead and take those shoulders back and walk straight ahead on the one track again. Then I'm going to take those shoulders back, shift them back to that track. There he's kind of dropped that hip towards it, and now again I've got those horses front feet on the one track, and I have his hind end on the other track. Okay, in this next little exercise here, I'm going to show you where we're going to utilize a pile of timber here, and I'm just going to go ahead and try it or lope around it. What I'm looking for it to happen is that the horses don't typically naturally want to go through or step on something like this or bump into it. It could be a pile of rocks, in this case it's this bit of timber. And what we're doing is just saying to them, hey, keep that shoulder out away from it. You're welcome to fall into it, but you're going to run into it. Great way on young colts and young horses to help them to stand those shoulders up in trotting or loping around in circles. So I'll go ahead and I'll just move this guy up here to a trot and just allow him to start to move around it. And kind of my goal here is to allow the natural obstacle to help keep the horse out off that inside. I'm not going to kind of like really assist him much there, just allow him to move around it, and as he's moving around it, look at letting the obstacle kind of help stand those shoulders up as he's moving through it. Again, great way for a young horse that kind of is wanting to drop in and fall on his circles. All you have to concentrate on doing is guiding and directing him around on the circle. Okay guys, so here in front of me I've got just a good gradual rise up. It's kind of a longer slope. And this is a great way, especially if you're having trouble with your horses like at the canter. Like I'll have people say, man, that horse really was going that one way at the canter, or it might be at the trot, just a weakness in general. When you can work on this stuff and you go straight up, the horse has to then equally use himself on both sides. As a rider, my job is to keep him straight. I want to keep him in frame. The more that I can make him kind of rise up and use his back in this, the better the exercise. You could start it out at a walk, so I'm just going to gather him up in frame, and you're going to feel your horse kind of start to really have to, because the easiest thing to do here for him would be to like let his head go and just like let him trot, or come flying up this hill. But at the walk here, I'm going to really make him gather himself up, keep him engaged, and walk up this hill using himself the whole time. Because we're doing it straight, it's one of the greatest ways to help strengthen that horse. So if you've got one coming out of some kind of injury and you're looking at getting him back fit and strong, utilizing a good slope like this is a great way to get that done. So as we're going to go down the hill, what I'm going to do is I'm going to gather him up and make him again stay very straight between my reins and legs. I'm going to make him again use himself, just not pitch him away and let him kind of just wander down there. Both going up and down has equal value in helping to develop your horse. Okay, so again here I'm going to keep him gathered up. I'm going to work on keeping him straight and making him really push from behind there, moving up this hill. Again, this is, to me, one of the greatest ways to help strengthen these horses through their backs and equally on both sides. Hey guys, well, I sure hope that you've enjoyed coming along with the ride with me today out here on the pasture and showing how that we can utilize the pasture and many different options that we have in bettering our horses. Take care, God bless, see you next time.
Hey, thank you for watching Better Horses. If you've missed any of our episodes, you can check us out at betterhorses.com where you can see all our shows.
You can also find us on Facebook or listen to any of our podcasts right from your mobile device.
And don't forget our newspaper coming out 5 times a year, also on the same website.
You're gonna love it.
Hippodrome sing.